Hello everyone, my name is Val and today we are doing some very rarely seen on YouTube brand called Titanium Foxes. This is a French brand of indie eyeshadow and this is the first product I ever got. I got it because of Katie's dad on Instagram. She's a friend who sent me this as a present, as an investment into my content, so to say. So I'm really excited to try it out with you together, and this is how the palette looks inside. If you're interested to know what exactly is happening with this palette, what it is about, how I feel about the whole eyeshadow thing, and the Titanium Foxes. So let's begin. Hello everyone, and I am back with something. Something is happening, something is not. And this is gonna be the review of the Titanium Foxes Crying by the Horses palette. And I don't know what exactly I told you in the intro, because right now it's still the past. So excuse me if I'm repeating myself. Maybe I need to try to edit it out, but I'm too lazy to do that actually. So this is how the palette looks. Its cover is basically the horse eye, and then we open the palette and inside we have this nice neutral-ish theme, and we have quite a few multichromes in here which seem to be quite impactful. We have quite a few mattes that are, in my opinion, like a greenish yellow zone and greenish purple or gray purple even. I'm not sure how to connect them together right now, but I will have to figure it out. Today I want to try something really simple, something that is not going outside of the normal range, let's say. So my inspiration for today is actually a very ripe banana. Don't ask me why I have this idea, but the three colors that I'm seeing at the top of this palette are reminding me of the very ripe banana that is like overly yellow, already turning to more brown, like a browning one. So, excuse my thought process here, and let's begin. So I'm taking the shade Louvet. I am not sure how to pronounce it properly. I should probably check on that, but sometimes I'm just not very in the mood. I will try to do that in between shootings so I can come prepared, because I'm absolutely not prepared once again. So I'm placing it into the under the brow and the stretching into the crease, so basically just stretching it up a bit into the crease all over and kind of outlining the eye, leaving the center empty right now. I already have the Makeup by Mario base in bisque, so that's another thing that you have to know. This base turns into powder after it dries. I also missed a spot in my waterline, but it doesn't matter right now as well. So while I'm blending the shade, I'm just telling you random things. Once I'm more or less happy with how the shade Louvet, I'm so sorry, probable pronunciation once again, turned out, how this shade turned out, we go into the shade Palomino. This is the yellow. It's pretty nice yellow, but I see it as more of slightly mustard color, let's say. And I'm placing it all over the moving lid. So this will conclude my moving lid mostly. So this makeup look is quite simple in these terms, nothing too crazy happening. And I am seeing that it's not going much on top of itself. So you cannot pack it really pack it. Like you probably need some base that is sticky to pack this shade on to make it more bright. Right now it gives me a bit more of a watercolor thing, so like I feel it a bit more watercolory, not very bright impactful like some other paints can be, but this is more of a watercolor. Then I want to try the shade Camargue. Sorry about that. So the center shade, the beige, it has a bit of a yellow tint, so it kind of fits into this palette. And I'm going to try to place it onto the first part of the bottom lid, kind of just to be here. And in the corner, slightly dragging it upwards. Once again, here maybe my eye is a bit watery, so it doesn't really stick to some areas or has a bit weird behavior. But overall, I think they are not actually getting on top of each other. So I don't think they actually are blending on top of each other. And they are very watercolory, so I'm trying to pack the color, but as soon as you start swiping, it blends into nothing. So this is my first time with them. You have to deal with me for a while with that. Let's say it like that. I'm not sure how it will behave in the future, but for now I'm just finding it very, very soft. Like so soft that it doesn't really give much of an impact, and it's super blendable actually, which is not bad for an eyeshadow palette, but it's probably not the most favorite thing for me because I like eyeshadow to be boom right in your eye, and yeah, this is not the case. The last eyeshadow that I'm going to take is this banana ripe color by Brun, and this is going to be my liner shade. Liner, I'm just dragging from the outer corner to the inner, and then I'm going to do the swoosh and go into the bottom lid. So you have an opposite, not from the other side, but you have from the front and going into the area. I'm not sure if this is the decision I won't regret, but this is what we are having. And I think I want to add a bit of a color case beige to my waterline, so I can have it kind of highlighted and more to the beige, like binding the beige from the palette into this. And this shade is called Crimsicle. I'm just taking it with a spatula from the same made by Mitchell brush that comes with this palette actually, and applying it to the palm of the hand. When you rub it into your skin, it gets activated by the warmth. So if you see it a bit more dry in the pan, it doesn't matter. You need to warm it up on the hand, and if it's too clay-like, you need to put a bit of Duraline into that mixture and it will glide normally. So I'm using the same spatula to apply this into my waterline, and I'm slightly dragging it outwards, kind of underlining the liner in this scenario. So that will be the idea here. This is the matte so far. I think it's very blendable, so it's very forgiving for somebody who just starts, which is nice. Sometimes you need eyeshadow that are actually forgiving in these terms, so you gotta have options. As I said, this is the first encounter with the brand and I don't know much about it, so we gotta see how the things will turn out. Now we are ready for our shimmers. I have 3 options here, primarily 2 I would say. One is like an additional Alizane, which is a green multichrome that goes into something orangey. You can see it on the middle finger. It's like a gold bronze kind of situation that goes into green. Very pretty actually. It's very foily in texture and you can see how it shifts. Next one is the shade Crème, and this one is just a sparkle, very kind of a foil as well, but also a sparkle. So if you apply this sparsely, it's going to be a sparkle, but you also can apply it very packed, then it will be a foil. And the last one is Bisou, and this one is also a multichrome, quite a strong one as well, but I don't think I will use it in this makeup look specifically. I think I have like 3 main color stories in here. One is going to the bluish direction with purples, one is going into the greens, and one is going into this golden something. So I'm applying the shade Alizane onto the moving lid because that's going to be our main shade. I'm trying to keep it within the moving lid, specifically keeping it within also the liner and the blending on the outer edge. Make sure that you don't have a zebra there because that's important. And also slowly bringing it into the inner corner. This shade is very, it's not really oily, but it grabs onto the finger really nicely. So even the small swatch produces a lot of pigment that you can apply to the eye, and that is actually also staying on the finger. You can see how much left on my finger. So next I'm taking the shade Crème and I'm applying it right into the center because it's going to be just a bit of a sparkle in the center. Also very impactful. Just a small amount is enough to produce a lot of impact. So this one is basically gonna be the centerpiece and the bottom lash line because it fits there with the beige. So I'm pretty happy about that choice, to be honest. And Bisou, I think I will leave for the next time, just because I don't see application right now here for this shade, because it contains quite some pink. Pink, I think, goes good with the purple that we have in this palette. And overall, I think the this five. No, actually, there are more shades, but what we used is good enough for now. I'm thinking about brown liner. I think I will add the brown liner still pretty much the same way. It's not going to be anything big. So yeah, I will do everything and come back to you with the finished face. So this is the look, and I have to say that I'm really happy about it. It looks really awesome, and the blendability of the mattes is really great. However, if you want to have like impact, like a full-blown color, these are probably not going to give it to you on a specific base, so you have to be aware about what to use, which base to use for them, in order to get the bigger payoff or better blending. So on Makeup by Mario eyeshadow, because they are turning to powder, you end up with something that you can blend on, but they're not sticking to it too much. They just kind of get on top, and that's pretty much it. Just because of how the powder textures kind of work, they are not getting the pigment stick to them. They are made for blending more. And if you have a bit more sticky base, like Urban Decay Primer Potion kind of creates a bit more sticky area. Not completely, but it's still more than Mario eyeshadow or powdered eyelid. And because of that, you can end up with something more packed, let's say. Also, pay attention to which brushes you're using. If you want more impact, once again, you need flat brush. If you want a light blended something, then you need a blending brush, and then it works totally fine. I find these shades quite neutral, and they are working for my color, like the color of my hair and brows right now, quite matching. I do enjoy that. In the palette, they seem more colorful than they are actually. So we tried the yellow, and these browns, also this beige. Beige is not so pigmented in my opinion. You need to pick up quite a bunch of it in order to bring it somewhere. Yet still I don't see much of it right now. In the matte version only, it was kind of good, so it's okay for me. This is a very beginner friendly, and this is very daily makeup friendly. You don't have to work a lot with this eyeshadow, and you can just blend a couple shades and you're good to go. For the shimmers, what I noticed is that they are a bit more on the sandy area, but not exactly. Like, you get to pick up a lot with a little tap. They are not emollient, they are not giving you some oil, but they are very impactful. Like, little goes a long way, and you have to be careful about how much you pick up, especially with a brush. I still need to test it out with a flat brush, just a regular flat brush, in order to understand if that gets picked up with the brush normally or not. But with a silicone brush, it's not that good, so I prefer a finger. For the biggest impact, for biggest output, I prefer a finger, of course. So we touched this shade as the main for the lid today. As you can see, in the pan, it looks not as interesting as on the eyes. We have a bit of a greenish multi-chrome going, and it has a yellow, it has orange, like a lot of colors are in it, and you can see it clearly, which is nice. It's very smooth. It doesn't accentuate the texture, which I also really enjoy. It kind of just sticks and grabs onto your lid and just stays there. So this multi-chrome Alizan is really interesting. This one is more sparkle. The texture is very similar, by the way, with the previous one, but the eyeshadow itself is less smooth. However, you can still make it into a foil, so you can get the foily look. However, if you apply it just as a sparse, you will get a sparkle, which I also have right now on myself, and I do enjoy how it looks as a sparkle. It's just a very nice one. So I think it turned out quite good. Pretty happy with the look in general, pretty happy with the blending. This is kind of a situation when I just sit, blend, and enjoy everything. Even though it's 2:30 in the morning already. We changed the time zone, and now it's a bit different. 1 hour difference, so to say. Would have been 1:30, now it's 2:30. Yeah, so far I'm really happy in general about everything, how it turned out, how it was blended, how the things are working together, and how it looks on me. I do not have any other palettes from the brand, and these are not the palettes that I first kind of grab and go, so they don't attract so much attention. It's a European brand, it's a bit harder to get, and they are very subtle, let's say, not really shy, but kind of subtle. In order to get to work with them, you need to purchase first, and the attraction of the purchase is not that high for me personally, and I needed to like convince myself that I want to try this. Right now, when I have this palette already in my hands, when I'm looking at it, I see almost nothing special because of the background, because of the generic stuff, the outlines of the eyeshadow themselves, but the eyeshadow formulas and the colors that are here are actually quite good so far. This is my first impression, this is my first makeup that I did. We will have two more together, of course, just because we need to dive in other things, and we will try it all out. So far that is all I can tell about the eyeshadow themselves. Very pleasant experience. And what else do I have on my face? So I have NARS in Oslo and Mont Blanc. This is a light reflecting foundation. I do a little pump, like a tiny pump of foundation, because I'm mixing three colors, the House Labs in white and these two, just because otherwise it doesn't fit me that nicely. And as you can see right now, the match is pretty good. I don't have anything on my chest, but I do have it on my face, and I feel like it looks like the same skin tone. At first I was trying to convince myself that I'm not as pale, but I'm actually really pale, and I need a white mixer for my foundations mostly, because I did not find anything that I can use just like that. Sephora contour stick, I think I will have enough for like a couple reviews with this little one still, so I'm not gonna show it anymore because it looks horrible digged in, but yeah, I'm finishing it up. I also finished one of the brow gels lately and opened a new one, so I feel really happy about that. Then I have, so let me tell you a story. So Gloss Gods came out with 6 new blushes. These are Beam Blush that I've been filming also. I think I did a pretty good job on that, and in Instagram it actually went really good for my account at least. So these are refillable blushes. So you have a refill itself and you have a packaging, which I did enjoy really, because it's good to refill sometimes. Also, it's very nice to travel, very light packaging itself. So it looks like this, and then you have the back side. So the shade I'm wearing is I'm Fine Lying, and this refillable packaging consists of 2 things. So the packaging itself, the outer shell, and this inner rim that holds the refill in. To take it out, you have to press this with something, and then you push out both refill and this ring, and you can replace this. So you can take any blush of the same size and you can place it into a case. So the case is a really good idea. The thing I don't like is that this is very thin and probably will break after some time because of how thin this edge is. So I'm not sure how long it will last, especially if I'm holding it by the lid, but yeah, the idea is great, and the shades they came out with are also really nice actually. So this one is a bit more peachy on me, and it's a Beam blush, so it's a radiant blush. This is the shade and how it looks. It's, yeah, as I said, it's just a peachy one, and I do enjoy it. And there are a few more in here. Some are more pink, some are more purple, some are more orange, so you can kind of see. I have a video about them, so if you're interested to take a look, you can do it on my channel or in Instagram. There are also photos, and generally good idea. I like the idea, but let's see how it will hold up, because packaging is sometimes is a problem. So then, to pair it with something, I decided that if I have a radiant blush, I need to have something very similar as a highlighter. So I went into this palette Head in the Clouds by Ofra, and I have the shade Cloud 9 here, this one. It also kind of peachy, as you can see. So you have this nice peachy highlighter, and it kind of matches the highlight also in the main lid, and I kind of enjoy I really enjoy to match these things together. So it's kind of one cohesive look. So that's what we have. I do love how the foundation looks. Love the radiant blush today. I think the makeup looks wonderful in general. On my lips I have Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever and NYX in Espresso Soak. It's already slowly getting off my lips, but it's a stain as well. Not as strong as some other shades that they have, but still it's a stain, and I'm loving this formula. I need more shades, honestly. I only have 5. They're standing somewhere there. I have 5. Like, generally you need 5 maybe from the whole selection, but I want them to have more interesting colors because these lip stains are really awesome in formula. I first tried the Hintor. So these little bunnies are Chinese brand Hintor, and they are more purple. So if you are into more purple zone, this one is milky purple and this one is more like purple beige gray, something in that direction. So if you love this color, sometimes I do need something like that. Like Kaleidos Last Smoke is very close to this one, but Last Smoke is more transparent. This one is a bit more opaque. These little guys are pretty fun. And my friend who also bought this palette for me while buying herself other palettes, she's Katie's dad in Instagram. If you want to check her out, she also sent me a package with some nice stuff from Sea Beauty, and I got 3 more of these Hintor rabbits. I'm not sure if they're actually rabbits or like peace sign, but I would say it's a rabbit. And these are the shades 97, 32 and 99. One of them is black, really opaque black gloss. Then we have the bluish silver. It has a lot of sparkle, like they put a lot of pigment into here and it sparkles like eyeshadow. The same impact. And this is a silver one, and it also sparkles like eyeshadow, like a lot of sparkles all over your lips. I will show you some at some point, but just so you know, they are truly pigmented and they are fun, and I think they're not that expensive actually. So I have shades 00, 094, 97, 92 or 99 and 32. 5 total. Maybe I will get more with time, but I do like the formula in general, and I do like these little guys. Just the general information, let's say. And for today, I think I'm completely done. Yeah, it was a pleasant experience. First impression, as I said, quite a nice one, and I'm happy with everything. I'm hoping that I will be able to continue tomorrow, and in the meantime, I spoke a lot already, so see you tomorrow. So it's me again. On Tuesday I was not able to do anything. I decided to invest my time into work more so I can at the end of the week work less, because we also have a shorter week because of the Easter on Sunday. And all of this filming is happening way before you will see this video, because I have no idea when you will see this video. So, Wednesday, my dudes, and we are doing something. I was thinking about either purple with green or green with purple, you know what I mean? So I want to try something a bit weird, I guess, but I want to connect green to the purple. I don't have a color to make the purple more dark, but I do have 2 shades of the green here, which are kind of okay to mix up together. But I think I will mix purple with beige, and from there we will go. So the first things first, I will take the shade Lucerne, and I will apply it under the brow and into the inner corner. This will be my accent shade. This has nothing to do with anything else. This is just gonna be there. I think I will also mix up a little bit of yellow into it. I'm not sure why, but let's say I feel like it today. So Palomino is the shade I'm going to use as well, and I'm just placing it under the brow and into the inner corner, as I said. This gives me a bit of a bruise. Not so nice, but nothing I can do right now with that. And now we are going directly into the shade Ombre. This will be the purple halo eye kind of, and I'm setting it into the inner corner, trying to drag it into the crease, and from the outer side into the dot where the darkest part should be, which is a very outer edge of your eye, of the lash line, I would say even. And from there we just blend. So we try to blend it to the bottom and to the top, top. I want something slightly more ethereal, let's say. And I'm trying to blend it and to just kind of have it there. I'm gonna switch to the shade Camargue. I'm so sorry for butchering the French, but that's what we are doing sometimes. And the beige one will be a blending color. I will also apply it into the center of the lid so I can have my like eyeball outlined in beige and darkened with purple. I think that kind of looks good. So I will continue building up the colors and just working through. I think so far it looks kind of good, and I'm pretty happy with the shades. They are not so, how to say, they do have pigment, but they do not appear dark. So they are medium somewhere in the middle, and they're blending really well. But this also doesn't allow me to pack the color. I will try to do so with the smaller brush and the shade Ombre, so I can have like a dabbed shade somewhere, but as the stuff shows, you basically don't have choices here. It's gonna be all blended really nicely, and yeah, it's just gonna disappear because it's blended. That's just how these eyeshadow behave. They are kind of just go into the skin, and they don't give you the oomph of the color. They just give you a slight hint of the color. I hope my explanations are okay in this regards. So, and with the beige, I'm gonna blend it once again just to have it there. Now we are ready to go into the shimmers, I think, and we have quite a big choice here. We have the Fleur de Prairie, Appaloosa, Bisou, Tressé, everything that is not green. We have two green shimmers here, and everything that is not green basically can go into this look. But I think I will start with the shade Appaloosa into the very center of the eyelid. I think it will be nice topper for the beige. I don't want to cover up the beige. Both of these colors, Fleur de Prairie and Appaloosa, don't really have a base, like strong one at least. Fleur de Prairie has a slight gray base, I would say, but it's very semi-translucent, semi-transparent. I'm so sorry. I don't know the actual difference between these two words. I need to actually educate myself about that, but I always forget to do so. So, Fleur de Prairie gonna be next. I'm first working into my palm so I can remove the excess. You can get quite a lot of that by dabbing into here. With the finger it's not the most nice, but it's okay. And I'm dabbing it onto the purple basically, so I'm giving my purple a bit of sparkles and giving the center and very edge, very in a corner swoosh with the Appaloosa shade. So I'm blending in there, it sits nicely. The last thing I'm thinking to add is the shade Bisou. Bisou is the shade that is pink. I'm not seeing anything pink in this palette, but we see purple, so these two probably fit nice together, so let's try it out. I'm gonna apply Bisou onto my inner corner first, maybe a little bit into the center, and kind of like a wing to the outside, from the lash line up to the area of the ear, I would say. Not exactly, but I forgot the name of the actual area. Whatever. Into this pink look, I think we will fit very nicely the shade Aurora Runner by Kaleidos, because it's also pink and it's slightly cool toned. They're a bit different in the shade, but they should match. So I'm gonna apply that into my lower lash line, because that's just how we do. And now all that's left basically is a bit of liner, and I think I will be able to come back to you with a finished result. This is the look I came up with at the end, like a total one. And I wanted to have the accent green, so I have the green here. It kind of goes into my brows, gives my brows a bit of a green hint, but I also wanted to connect it through the eyes into the choker. So it's like, I like to have this same accent color as little details somewhere else in the look, or in the outfit, or like in the overall vision, and that's why I try to kind of connect things together. Also we have pink, so I used a bit of pink and purple. All of three colors are present here, and I will explain in detail what exactly is in there. But now let's focus on eyeshadow only. I think the mattes are very, very blendable, but they are not packable. So you need some dark base, like you need a darker purple, for example, as a base in in order for this purple to be put on it, and then you can blend it into nothing. By itself, it kind of just does blending. So by itself, I would say this is not enough depth for me. It's very cute. It's very like lilac flower kind of eyes, and I do enjoy this sometimes, but it's very watercolory, and I like when I can do both, when I can pack the pigment or darken something, make it more graphic, or when I can do something very soft and airy and ethereal. This is only one case, in my opinion. This is only the ethereal part of the whole thing, and I'm not against it, but it's not my favorite. It's just not something that I pursue, probably, but it still looks great. You cannot argue that it looks great. I think the blendability of this eyeshadow really helps, and I think somebody who's afraid of color, who's not very familiar with like more pigmented shades, who wants a bit of a swipe and done kind of situation, those people will love this brand and palette, and you can get very nice blending out of it without lots of skills in blending, let's say it like that, because they kind of blend themselves. They can do that, some eyeshadow do that, and this is the situation. I put this onto the stage with the luxury makeup, something that is very easy to use and very blendable, so almost nothing kind of stays, but here we have a bit of color, it kind of still there, you can see it, but it's all still very, very airy, yeah, very watercolory. So it's enjoyable, it's a nice experience, something like that from time to time is needed, but yeah, as I said, I'm not the target audience probably for this specific brand. But yeah, it's enjoyable. For the eyeshadow, it seems like everything is fine. I don't see any creasing. The base seemed to work great as well. So this little guy, cat hair already on it. This little multi-sculpt matte is actually really good. It's a very thin layer. I did enjoy how it looks, and apparently you can also use it as concealer or things like that, and there are quite a few shades that you can use, but I personally would mostly use it as eyeshadow. Just my preference, I guess. So this is the shade Brûlée, and it's just beige, and I like beige. I'm very much a beige flag by myself. So the shimmers on top of that and mattes on top of that seem to work totally fine. No problems at all, not getting stuck anywhere or anything, so it was very enjoyable experience in general, and I think that the shimmers are also nice. You can see the duochrome clearly, you can see that it's shifting, you can see the little sparkles and things that are supposed to be there, but I think it's very much a topper. So this blue eyeshadow is very much a topper. It doesn't give much of an impact by itself, and on top of the black it can be really interesting wet effect. I overeat, quotes, in quotes, overeat this kind of eyeshadow when I did my 12 looks with Gloss Gods Color of Rain. This specific shift was a lot in there, so I think I just overdid it at some point, and now I'm just slowly coming back. It's been 1.5 years since that video, but oh well, doesn't help. So it's still nice. The formula of this eyeshadow is actually quite nice. You can get a lot when you just tap into the pan. You can get a lot of eyeshadow, so you have to work through that. Maybe you need to use flat brushes. Next look, I think I need to try flat brushes just to understand if this shimmers gets picked up by them or not, but I think they will be picked up by the flat brush, so I don't think there are any problems with any brushes at all with this brand and this eyeshadow specifically. It's like, I understand that in most cases in couple looks you can understand already what the eyeshadow do and how they behave, what they perform, but I think it's just not enough to get everything out of the palette. I'm trying to show as much as possible. I'm trying to touch every shade in order to get the good impression, to good understanding of the formula, and when it's 1-2 looks, it's just first impressions. So right now my first impressions, like half a palette basically, that I've touched are pretty good, but they are limited. I will elaborate further in the other looks. I hope that I am, I don't know if I hope I'm wrong or right. I don't know. I feel like I am right, but we will see. So far with eyeshadow, I think we are done. This looks okay. And generally, I enjoy how the things are. But what else do I have on my face? NARS light reflecting in Oslo. This is L1 and I'm mixing it with white just because this shade by itself is darker than I need. And this adds a bit of lightening and gets approximately what I need. Then I have Sephora Contour Stick as usual, so nothing changed there. I'm digging through it. Then I have Gloss Gods Beam Blush in Need a Minute or Several. Need a Minute or Several. It's a radiant blush, beam blush. Yeah, I think the radiance here is pretty damn clear, and you can see also how radiant they are with a slightly bluish tone, and yeah, all of that is just blush. They don't create anything crazy on me, but yeah, I kind of like it. So if you are not familiar with a radiant blush, this can be a good way. But what I'm kind of not liking much is actually the packaging, because I like when the packaging is really heavy. I like to feel it in my hand. So this glass bottle, for example, is heavy. You can feel the weight of it. You can feel the price of it, if I can say so. This one doesn't give me that feeling. It's a very innovative kind of, it's kind of very new generation kind of. I hope I'm trying to explain everything and it's still explainable. So this is very lightweight. And I'm not the biggest fan of very lightweight items because they can fly suddenly from my hands, because sometimes I'm clumsy. So even though I like the blush refill, I think the packaging is very, very light. But it's a good blush. It's like nothing crazy, nothing horrible is happening. Just good blush. Then I have Ghost Orchid by Diveroon as my highlighter. The light part of it, to be specific, just a bit of light to be added. It's kind of, you know. As I explained, I like when the highlighter light shift is the same as an eyeshadow. So it's just what I like to match. Then on my lips I have Miss Thais 776, the purple liner. As I said, the rosy blush with rosy waterline and rosy shimmer, purple eyes with purple lips and green accent. I covered all my lips with this pencil, and on top of that I added a bit of the Hintor in number 94. This little bunny is very nice and purplish as well, as I said previously, I think 2 days ago or something like that. So that's pretty much all I had for today. We are left with 2 more looks. One we will do together. I'm thinking about something green, because something green is what's left, so we can combine green and orange, for example, in some way. We will see what I can make up from this. We are left with these 2 shimmers, with this shimmer and these mattes. So I think something darker also has to be present. I need to think about it, but overall I think it's all that's left in the pan, in the eyeshadow palette. So far that is it. The last look, as usual, probably will be something more neutral, something more wearable, even though all of them are right now wearable. I did not create anything crazy so far. Maybe next look needs to be a bit more crazy. So, thank you for staying with me. It's probably half the video through, and I'll see you tomorrow in a new look. So it's me again, and today we're going to do something green. Something nice and sparkly and green, obviously. So I did not check the first time and my sound didn't go through, but we are here again and I'm ready to dive in once again. Good that I noticed it early. So I'm going to start with the big fluffy brush and the shade in the center that is beige. I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce it anymore because I'm butchering it for sure. Beige shade all over the lid. As you can see, it's slightly lightening, so it's a bit lighter than my skin, but not too much. So at the end, it's quite similar to what I have as a skin color. Then once I'm done with that, I can go with this small brush, like almost like a lip brush, and it's synthetic, so I can have a better control and the shade will stay better in the place. Shade Pommel, it's a dark green, and I'm gonna do the swoosh in the beginning of the eye, approximately under the brow, somewhere in the crease area, and it's gonna stay there. And then from there I will go into the crease, and I'm trying to connect my liner that goes up and the crease in some place. And for that I'm just drawing drawing the areas wherever it takes me. Weird description, sorry about that, but that's how it is. And I'm going to do also a little line from the liner area, from the outer edge of the eye, more kind of horizontal. That's going to be my lower lash line, and I'm going to fill up the lower lid with the shade the same way. Then I'm staying approximately 5 millimeters away from the inner corner so that I can have a bit of an interesting shape in there. You can also bring it till the very end, but I kind of want to try this. And I'm slowly, slightly blending the lower lid first and then going into the outer edge, filling it up with the same shade. I switched to a fluffier side, and that side also helps a bit with blending, but when you're using synthetic brush, it is more likely that the pigment will stay on the lid where you placed it, and when you're using the natural bristles, it's more likely that you will blend it away, just so you know. Then once I'm more or less okay with my dark green, we will go into the shade Lucerne, and this is a lighter, more grass green, and this is gonna be my second shade that I'm trying to blend into the darker green. The same I'm doing on the top lid leaf shape, as I call it, and on the bottom, slightly blending it. And it seems to be working as I expected to work. The fluffy brush has natural bristles, that are the one that I'm using, and it's blending the shade nicer. You can blend it into nothing with that, and when you're using the synthetic brush, then it kind of keeps the pigment better in place. I'm not sure about the physics or chemistry behind that, but that's what I just noticed. Then when I'm more or less okay with that, I think we can dab slightly into the shade Palomino. A little bit of yellow, just for the interest. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special, just in the front of the eye first. No, that's gonna be a second quarter of the eye, not from exactly in the corner, just a bit with a step, and then until the center. In the center, I'm gonna blend it together with the shade Lucerne, just so I can have it nicely there, and I think it works as I want it to work. From here, it's probably safe to go into shimmers. So I will start with the shade Paillet. I think it's written like that. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the second shade in the second row that is slightly golden green. I'm gonna use the silicone brush first, but you can actually use a flat brush with that, or your finger, whatever is more comfortable for you. I'm placing it exactly where the yellow is and trying to blend it into the greens. Then I'm gonna take the shade Pré the same way, but I'm gonna outline the shape. So I'm keeping the graphic element here, even with the shimmers, and I'm just going over the same shade, same area. That's why it doesn't really matter that much if you blend your shades nicely or not so nicely. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know if you place the shimmer on top. When in doubt, just slap the shimmer on. And I'm gonna try to keep it there and outlining just to have it like that. And I think I then go and switch to my finger and do the little mixing right on the lid with the shade Pré and Paillet. This seemed to work nicely, they seem to be good, and I'm pretty happy with that. Then I think I will go into the shade Tressé. This will be my bottom lid shade completely. It's just a nice grayish with gray, slate gray, maybe asphalt gray, something like that, with silver sparkles. And that's gonna be very nice with greens or browns specifically, especially for the smoky eye, just so you know. And yeah, I'm also keeping it in the shape of what I created with the mattes. Now I want to actually dab with the edge, with the corner and edge of my silicone brush into the shade Pré to use it as a liner. You can use it in multiple ways. You can use the wet application technique with a thin brush, or you can use a silicone brush edge, or you can use a liner itself. A Kaleidos liner, I think, has the same shift, but here I'm using the brush. I'm just outlining the same area in the beginning of the eye, and I'm going to go into the crease. I kind of didn't want to cut this look, but I would have to at this point because it's slightly a mess, and I'm keeping the more impact like a liner in the crease area mostly. and the outline on the bottom. Now, I think we're ready to go into the cut. I'm taking the micro brush applicator for cleaning the lashes, just a notice for you, and lock-in base by Day Day Signature in weight called, I think, Ivory Grip. I'm gonna dab a bit onto the palm of my hand and back of my hand and just go into the areas that were pre-defined. So I'm cutting into it, trying to blend it slightly, but actually it's best to apply the shade first and then blend with a brush. You can also apply it with a brush, but sometimes you don't have that much control with it, depending on which brush you're using and etc, etc. So I'm gonna cut out the area on the outer edge the same way, and also the crease area slightly, so it's a bit more kind of clean in there. Then with this brush, with a small brush, like a lip brush almost, I'm going to blend it away, just so it's nicer. And I think I will also cut out in the front here, the inner corner, to be a bit more white. Same way with the brush, I'm just going in and blending things. I will try to bring it closer to my liner area here. So behind the scenes, I actually added a bit of the shade, the beige shade from the center onto this white area, so I can lock them in as well with the matte shade. And I applied the black liner all over the eye. I need to break a pattern of using yellows with this kind of looks because greens and yellows look good together. I will go on opposite way to the blue because we have the edge here of the shimmer into the blue and purple, so I think it will look nice with the blue as well. And once I'm done with the second eye, which is a crazy thing to repeat, I will come back to you with a finished face. This is the final look and I'm honestly pretty happy about it. Look at this multi-chrome. It's super bright, super seen. I'm just really enjoying how it looks. The bright green that goes into purple and blue and purple to be specific. Then I think it also has a bit of yellow, but yellow we also transfer through our other shade. I don't see a lot of duochroming in this shade particularly, but it sits nicely. It doesn't do anything bad. And from what I noticed, also there is a way to work with this eyeshadow in more packed options, less blended, but you also can blend them really nicely, especially if you're using natural brushes. So natural bristles are just made for that. And synthetic ones, I have, I believe, nylon right now. I think I like nylon more kind of than some other types, but maybe I'm also wrong. I need to double check everything, but that's from my previous research if I remember correctly. So nylon brushes that I'm using are usually giving some packing action, and the flat ones are really good. Also, as I checked, the flat brush applying shimmers really nicely, but the finger is unbeatable. The finger here is the king or the queen, depending on what you like more. So the shade on the bottom actually creates pretty good canvas for sparkly smoky eyes. I do enjoy this kind of stuff, and I've been doing something similar in the past 2 reviews, so I will try to hold myself back from doing it again. But on the other hand, this makeup look and shape is also very similar to something that I did with Nomad Cosmetics Pacific Northwest. It's not exactly the same, but it follows the same pattern and kind of the same shape. So I'm repeating myself for sure because I'm gravitating towards the same stuff. This is inevitable. This is something that I have to live with and maybe force myself into doing something different. I will try to. I cannot promise, but I will try to. This shape on the bottom lash, bottom lid kind of gives me a puppy eyes a bit. It's kind of a bit weird, but I don't mind it. It's interesting, I would say, just to look at, just to have it there. It's something specific, something unusual probably. So in any case, I'm happy about everything. They are holding nicely. They don't have issues right now. They don't go into the creases. They don't go into anything, and I feel good about the eyeshadow themselves. So I do have a bit of an issue here, but it made through the base. So I applied a bit too much of the base, and it kind of goes into some pieces of skin, into some creases, and this is just my user kind of mistake and not anything that's related to the eyeshadow themselves. Yeah, so far so good. I think I will hold back the other thoughts about this palette in general for the final thoughts, but for now, pleased. So what else do I have on my face? Nars Oslo. I'm not sure how much left actually, but I think somewhere here is the line. So I'm finishing things. I'm trying my best to finish things. For example, I finished this Makeup Forever Aqua Resist fully. It took me quite a while, almost a year I think, but yeah, it's done. It's fully empty. 0.5 grams. That was a while. Maybe half a year, I'm not sure. I need to check it, but I think half a year probably. NARS I'm mixing usually with my white House Labs. I already got to the shoulders of this bottle, so else also slowly going away. Nothing too crazy. I need to make a short pause and I will be back because my camera is overheating right now. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, that should be better. Then I have Sephora contour stick on my face as usual. This is just something I'm finishing up again also. It's an ironic thing that a lot of things just kind of end up at the same time. So you finish most of the things approximately at the same time, and then you need to buy a bunch of refills and stuff. Or is it only me? I don't know. Maybe you also. Anyway, let's continue. I have the That Look, you know, blush by Gloss Gods today. They are quite orangey on me, like a peachy, glowy thing, but in the packaging they're looking like this. So they are kind of a peachy and glowy, and on me it's just becoming more obvious. So yeah, but they are relatively sheer and don't give me any troubles, any problems. I think they kind of look good. This is already the third piece that I've tried, and so far the formula is pretty nice. I do enjoy it. I'll have 3 more, and even the orange ones, which can be used also with something orange from this palette. But I will try to do something neutral once again, as usual, because that kind of gives me an impression of what I can create for the like daily life, or what I can create for more interesting stuff. Then as a highlighter I have Solar Sailor by Kaleidos, because you see the theme of gold present here, so gold it is. Continuing with the peach, however, I have this BFF by Colourpop. I actually really like this formula and I applied it all over the lips, but for some reason this guy just decided to run away from the packaging. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, I have to put it back. I do have another one already, so I did buy a spare because I like the color. That's what I usually do. I need a backup. If you don't do backups, then you should be doing backups. And on top of that, I have a Hintor 00. This is like a milky purple gloss. Does almost nothing, honestly, like as a color, but it's kind of okay gloss. It's nothing special really, and it's just, if you like it, the matte, they are not matte actually, they are glossy, right? But these ones are without the shimmer. The shimmer ones are crazy, I will show you later, but yeah, it's okay. Nothing special. I'm waiting for some other stuff. It was not a purchase, it was kind of a collaborative thing with C Beauty Mall. So I'm waiting for some products, but I'm not sure when they will arrive. No idea. And this is probably everything that I wanted to tell. And also I want to say that I tried this Multi-Sculpt Matte by MAC as the concealer today. And oh boy, it's so good. I don't know how this formula is made. It's very thin but stretchy. It's self-setting and it gives a color. I'm so surprised. And this shade Brûlée is very close to my skin tone. So when you're blending it, it's kind of just matches. Even though I'm not exactly neutral like this one, it's not cool. It's neutral, it's not warm at all, and it just looks good. I was so surprised by this stuff that I want more, as usual. I have a tendency to buy a lot of things when I find something that I really like, and right now this one is kind of getting over the Makeup by Mario. They are both good, but this one is thinner. It's just more liquid. This one is a mousse, just a bit more texture. This one doesn't give any texture at all. So surprising. So I will test more. I think I want to get the others that I ordered in Painterly and Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray I want to use specifically for the contouring because it's a perfect pinky gray shade. I think it will look wonderful, and it's exactly contouring. The stuff that I'm using right now is not as shadowy. It still has a bit of brown thing to it, but I want to try the Taylor Gray. I do have a pot, but it's not that comfortable to use, and maybe the liquid one is easier. I don't know, but we will see. But everything that is advertised as contour is actually a bronzer for me. So I'm gonna just skip all other things, and I'm gonna buy this MAC Multi Sculpt. Hopefully I will enjoy a lot of it. But yeah, the very thin, very nice coverage. I'm so into it right now. I'm really impressed. So that's all I have for now, I think. Nothing more to mention. Everything's good, looking good, feeling good, working good. And I'm done for today. Really sleepy, 2:40 on Friday. So it's been Tuesday and now it's Friday and it's 2:40. Gotta go get some sleep. At least tomorrow is day off. See you tomorrow in final thoughts. So this is the last look. I feel myself slightly into the Wuthering Heights. You know, the Bronte blush, the dark lipstick. This is, by the way, Film Noir by MAC together with the Night Moth pencil. I think this is a great combo, and I feel a bit more like feminine kind of in this look. I also really like the choker here. I like the overall like hair updo and stuff. I wanted something nude, but ended up with this. It's a bit of a graphic something. This is the shade Bisou all over the lid, basically, and a bit of gray. Tressé, I think it's called. It's gray. It's not black. The gray shade as a liner, basically, here. And yeah, I'm actually enjoying the look. And the Bronte blush from the Wuthering Heights movie. I haven't seen it, by the way. Have you? This is Too Much Never by Gloss Gods. I thought that's gonna be a bit more intense and a bit more purple, but this is how in fact it looks on me. As you can see, it's not really that intense and not really that purple. So it's quite safe, and I do enjoy the placement. Usually I keep my blush somewhere till here, just on the cheekbone, but I just put it a bit down. I think the Boyfriend blush was the previous way of applying it, and now this is Bronte blush. Not sure, but maybe. Okay. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I really enjoy how it looks, so everything is pleasantly good. Now let's talk about the palette. This is Titanium Fox's first neutral palette, as far as I'm aware. They have quite a bunch of palettes, but they're more leaning towards more colorful, let's say. Some of them are more pastel-y, some are less pastel-y, but I heard that the pigmentation was good in any case. The Titanium Foxes themselves is an independent brand from France, and they are operating from France. Unfortunately, the shipping to the USA right now is not available. It's only available throughout the Europe, and this is sad but true. And I also haven't seen a lot of YouTube reviews on this kind of stuff at all. Maybe I didn't search well enough, but this is where we are. Titanium Foxes as a name, as far as I understood, is related to the Silver Foxes, which is name for people over 40 with the gray hair, the silvering of the hair. So they started to get the gray hair, and this is why Silver Fox. And I might be wrong, but this is the information I think from the website, which you can also confirm by yourself. So the palette. The palette was gifted to me by my friend. The brand themselves have quite a weird policy, let's say. I, on one side, appreciate it. On the other side, it's a bit weird to me in general. They do not accept collaborative posts from anybody except their PR list, and their PR lists are also paid for their posts, which is like a double-sided sword, in my opinion. But let's continue. This is the first palette that actually captured me through the color story. I'm not the biggest fan of previous ones, and I had no something was missing all the time for me to grab their palette. I was thinking about it for a while, and this is probably the first one that actually truly captured my attention by the color story. I'm I like neutrals generally. I like them for the regular wear on the daily basis. But also here we have a bit of purple, a bit of yellow, a bit of greens. The color story is relatively simple. We have 15 shades. We have all the information on the palette as well. This is very lightweight palette, by the way. This is not magnetic. They are just glued into the cardboard, and cardboard is very light. I feel like I can squeeze it almost. It comes with the sleeve, so the packaging is relatively simple. This is a horse eye because the palette is called Crying by the Horses, and this is about animals as saviors. Where the humans fail, animals do not. And as far as I read on the website, the owner of the brand and creator of this palette was growing with the horses, and they probably were quite an emotional support as well. So this is a very interesting tribute, and we do appreciate some animal lovers, and I do enjoy horses, but I usually do not enjoy how they are held in majority of cases. But that's just personal thing. So the palette is like with a big mirror. It's relatively big, already quite dirty on my side. Able to fold, which is also nice sometimes. I dabbed into the pan. And we have the 15 shades. 7 of them are mattes. Mattes here are really easy to work with. I can understand why the palettes are loved by the community in some specific areas, you know. There is a community of lovers of this products, and I understand why. It's very easy to work with. You don't need anything special. You don't need blending skills. You don't need anything. You can just tap into the eyeshadow, place it on your lid, and slightly blend. Like, just do the couple swooshes and it's gonna blend itself. So it's very easy to work with this matte. You don't need anything specifically. What I am lacking, however, is the darkening shade in here. I feel like I have quite a bunch of medium tones and none of them truly is dark. So I am lacking darkness, but I do appreciate that there is some light shades in here that you can light up something. But yeah, I would prefer this or this shade or some other shade to be replaced with something darker, because I need to darken the stuff. That's how I work. That's just my preference. That doesn't mean that the palette has to change in some way. It's just what I'm lacking here. And then the shimmers. We have 3 formulas of shimmers. Specifically, we have the sandy texture. This is a sparkle gray base with silver something sparkle. It's very nice in itself. I'm wearing it today as well. You can still see the little shimmers throughout the dark base, and it's quite nice, but kind of like a sand. So just the information. Then we have 2 of the shades that are very smooth. They're very silky. I do enjoy this texture because it's very pleasant to touch. These 2 are that texture. This one is a very interesting multi-chrome, which I'm wearing on my eyes today. It goes from the pink with transparent base into the yellow. Quite good. No creasing noticed at all from them. They are not overly oily in all textures, which is nice. Then we have this more flaky texture, but not flaky much. It's something in between the flakes and the sand from my descriptions, let's say. So we have quite a bunch of them. This one, this, and this slightly. But out of them, this one and this one are a bit more emollient. However, they're not oily in terms of having like oil out of them. They are also multi-chroming nicely, and you can see one is going to the blue, one is going to the yellow. This one is like bronze, and this one is a forest green. They are matching the mattes also very nicely, so you have opportunity to kind of match one to another, or have one as a base, or something lighter if you want to lighten up some things. So generally the palette is built normally. This one is a sparkle, and this one is colored sparkles shade. So you have few multichromes. This one, I'm not sure that this one is multichroming. I think it's just a different colored base on and something. Some of them are more foily, some of them are more metallic-y, some are more sparkly. So you have a variety of things, let's say, but none of them really give me any troubles. However, you need to be aware that you can get too much. So sometimes the brush can pick up too much, and the finger definitely will pick up too much. So don't press into it too religiously. You just need to swipe a little bit. It will be picked up. Also picked up by the brush, so no problems with that. that, but the most impact was with the finger. So overall, this is a good product. This is a good palette. This is safe to use. This is very nice to work with, but I'm just lacking something that is kind of the vibe, the uniqueness. I'm not sure how to describe that. This is something, my personal preference. I'm lacking something to buy more. This is really good stuff. I'm totally into it. I feel like some design choices here may behave not in the favor of the palette. The black base with silver outline, for example, not my favorite thing. The design of the palette itself, probably not my favorite thing as well. But it's cruelty-free, vegan palette. It's quite a good product in itself. Nothing wrong with it, except there are a couple points that I personally don't find fulfilled, let's say, from my reviewing mind perspective. So yeah, I'm not sure if I will continue, if I will get another one someday. I don't feel like it hooks me up. The marketing for the palettes, the photos that are shown don't give justice to this product, and because of that I'm trying to also not buy too many things. If I'm gifted something, if I have a present from a friend or from a brand, I'm trying to show this, and I'm happy to keep and to show the stuff, but I'm trying to not buy it by myself. So I'm not fully convinced that I need more from the brand right now. As I said, if I'm getting this as a product, as a gift, then I'm totally happy about that, but something is not at 100% for the decision to buy. I don't know what, I cannot explain it, it's just my feeling. But it's a good stuff, it's a nice one, and yeah. I would also like to know how many grams are here, but it's not written as far as I can see. But you have all of the information about the eyeshadow, which are pressed pigments, which are not. And yeah, these are all the thoughts I have about this brand and the product so far. I did enjoy working, I did enjoy everything, but it's not the euphoria stuff for me right now. It's still pleasant, so nothing bad that I want to say, but something is just not till the very edge for the decision to buy, unfortunately. So let's have a look on all of the makeup looks I've created with the palette, and if you enjoyed it, you also may tell me if there is something really favorite for you. I would be happy to hear your thoughts about everything. Thank you for staying with me till the very end. This was another week, another review, and I am happy I can continue doing so. So thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. That's really helping, and give this video a like if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one really soon. Bye!